Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Irene and I'm a registered dietitian, and this is a day in my life as a pediatric clinical dietitian. These days I get up around 5:15 to get ready for my day, and the first thing that I usually do is I get ready to go work out downstairs in our apartment gym. I currently don't have a set workout routine other than I work out 4 to 5 times a week, usually for about 30 to 40 minutes each. I usually try to hit most muscle groups throughout the week and throw in some cardio if I'm feeling up for it. After a quick gym session, I take a quick shower and get ready for work. I do some light makeup so that it looks like I am awake and that you can see my eyes. After I get ready and put on my scrubs, I heat up my breakfast. Today I'm having a breakfast quesadilla. We always meal prep ahead of time to make mornings smoother, and then I will sit down to eat my breakfast while reading a book. Currently, I'm reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, which was highly recommended by my coworker. I'm not very far along yet, but I've been really enjoying it. If you like reading fantasy books, then you'll probably enjoy this one as well. The way that my coworker described it to me was a combination of Hunger Games and Beauty and the Beast, which sounds really weird but totally makes sense once you start reading the book. Then around 7:15, 7:30 is when I leave for work. Since I have somewhat of a commute, I usually start paying attention to traffic conditions around 7 so I can make sure that I make it in on time, especially on the days that we have meetings in the morning. We only have department or team meetings once or twice a month at 8 a.m. Otherwise, most of the time, our schedule is pretty flexible in terms of when we get to work. After I park, I make the long trek past the hospital to the building that my office is in. And I usually get in anywhere between 8 and 8:30. Since traffic hasn't been as bad, I've been coming in closer to 8 these days and leaving a little bit earlier. But officially, our department hours are from 8:30 to 5. So the first thing that I do when I get in is I screen my floors. At my current hospital, each inpatient dietitian is assigned one or multiple floors, usually related to a service area. Currently, I cover the neurology floor and some Gen Peds, and this whole process takes about 10 minutes. And basically, I just go through all the patients assigned to me and determine who needs to be seen today based on our policy. And I also check for any consults. After I screen my floors, I print out my list for the day, and I use this sheet of paper to write out notes for when I go see the patient. Around 8:30, my other coworkers start arriving, and I usually spend a couple minutes, sometimes up to 30, catching up, and we talk about all sorts of things, including our weekends, patients, books that we've been reading, and shows that we've been watching. Once we're all caught up, I start pre-charting on my patients. I pull up their chart and I start my nutrition note as I start going through their medical history. For new patients, this usually takes a bit longer as I have to check several different places and gather lots of different information to understand their clinical picture. For follow-ups, this process is relatively simple. I copy my previous note that me or a coworker has already written, and then I change the pertinent details. A lot of the things that I'm looking for when I'm pre-charting are any medical conditions or disease states that may affect their nutrition status or needs, weight and weight for length or BMI trend, GI output, medications, and labs. After I have gathered the information that I need, I head over to the main hospital to go see my patients. On my floors, there are a lot of different services that come through, and a lot of them have patients on many different floors, so I actually don't attend rounds, but some of my other coworkers that are assigned to more specialized floors like GI or cardiology have rounds that they go to in the morning that take up most of their time. Since I don't, I usually spend my morning just seeing patients. After I finish seeing patients, I usually sit down somewhere or I go back to my office to chart. Some days I stay up on the floor to chart, or I will finish a chart before I move on to the next patient. And this usually happens when I'm waiting for an interpreter to see one of my non-English speaking families, or if there's a more urgent patient that I need to put in recs for. Other times I will see all of my patients at once and then go back to my office to chart. It really just depends on how many patients I have and the complexity of the patients and time. Usually by the time I'm done seeing patients, it is time for lunch. Lately, the inpatient team has been getting together to eat outside or in the conference room. Afterwards, we go back to the office to finish up charting. Today was a pretty light day, so I finished early with lots of time to spare. Sometimes I have a lot more patients and I may still have to go back and see patients in the afternoon. You really never know if you're going to have a light day or a heavy day, but usually if I can tell in the morning that I have a light day, then I might ask our group chat to see if anyone needs help. Everyone on the team is so nice and we love to help each other out. So if someone has a heavier day, someone with a lighter load might take a patient or two from them. And today I ended up taking a patient from the PICU to help out the PICU dietitians. Then once I finish charting, I use any extra time I have in my day to work on other projects or study. I'm planning on taking the CNSC exam this fall, so I have started reading the Aspen core curriculum. Today, however, I got a page in the afternoon about a kid on my floor. I returned the page and just got some extra details about what was going on. It was just a kid on enteral feeds and mom had questions about the formula and feeds, so I went back to the main hospital and talked to mom. There ended up being some confusion in the formula order because the previous note had mentioned a different formula. I got that all straightened out and returned back to chart everything, only to find out that the doctor put in discharge orders after I finished my note. Then if I've completed everything and no one needs any additional help, I usually leave a little bit early, around 4-ish. I don't like leaving too much earlier than that just in case a page comes in around this time, but this is one of the perks that I love about being salaried. I can leave early as long as the work has been done, regardless of the number of hours that I am physically at work. Then once I get home, the first thing I like to do is to shower and get rid of those hospital germs. And after I feel refreshed, I can sit down and have dinner. Usually my boyfriend is the one that gets started on dinner before I get home, so it's almost ready by the time I'm out of the shower. And this week we're having meals from Factor, so all we did was pop it into the microwave. We sit down together in front of the TV, which I know is bad, but it's super fun for us to watch shows like this. Currently, we're watching Jet Lag the Game, which is a show on YouTube made by Wendover. Each season, they have a different objective, which usually involves traveling to one or more locations and completing some challenges along the way. And in this season that we are currently watching, they are traveling through Japan and playing Capture the Flag. After we finish dinner, I will retreat to my desk in our room to work on any personal projects that I have, which may include planning or editing videos, making thumbnails, or other random things like getting my finances together and paying my bills. At about 8 p.m. I start to wind down and get ready for bed. A lot of nights I take a little time before bed to read and relax. I've really been enjoying this instead of scrolling on my phone. And around 9 or 9:15, I usually call it a night and I turn off the lights, turn on some brown noise if my neighbors are being loud, and I drift off to sleep. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.